So you decided that you want to get a little closer to your head than your trimmer can get. Well, should you be getting a razor or a shaver to shave that head? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to be going over, and hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know which one of these you will want to pick up. Now, before we get into the specifics of each one of these and the differences, let's take a look at some of the things that are the same. Like, for instance, both the razor and the shaver will help you get a skin shaven look. Both the shaver and razor, you can go up to about 3 days before you need to trim down the hair before using them. But every day to every other day is going to be your best option. They'll both take right around 90 seconds or less to shave your head. And as long as you're shaving in the time frame, you can usually shave all of your hair within 90 seconds or less using both methods. And the last fact is, you're gonna end up spending money on both of these options in the future at some point. Now let's take a look at using a razor. Now this is gonna pretty much pertain to if you're using your standard Gillette handled or a Bic type razor, as well if you are using something like the half-time razor that is made specifically to shave your head. The pros to using one of these types of razors is fairly straightforward. One, you're not going to get a closer shave than you will with a razor blade. You also have a lot less maintenance because all you're going to need to do is rinse it out underneath some water and change the head pretty much whenever it starts getting dull. You also have a lot more options to try to find a blade that you really like that works with you best. Whether it's a regular face shaving razor or a head specific one, there's a lot of options out there. I also find that I can get a faster shave with something like the half-time razor than I can with a electric shaver. A razor is also pretty much always ready to use. Now, just like all products or items that we use, there's gonna be some downside. And downsides to the razors are that either you're gonna have to replace the entire razor or the blades at least every couple of months. They also take a little bit more time to master using on your head. You also are gonna need to use the razors with a lubricant like a shave gel or shave cream, which means that you're obviously going to have to use it when you have water accessible, such as in the shower or at a sink. Now, when you first start shaving with razors, you're going to have a much higher probability of nicks, cuts, as well as irritation from using the razor blades. And with that, it really brings us to the positives of a shaver, starting out with the fact that, well, you're not going to be able to get nicks and cuts as easily with a shaver, and it's much less likely that you will irritate your skin as well. And with the shaver not needing to have lubricant, it means that you can literally use this thing just about anywhere. And if that shaver has a water resistance rating, it also means that you can shave it in the shower, out of the shower, really just about wherever you want. Now, the blade heads on a shaver also last a lot longer, which means that you should only need to replace these about once a year on your typical shaver. Now, just like the razors, shavers have their downside as well, as you do need to make sure that you clean these out fairly well after each shave if you're shaving wet, sometimes even in the middle of a shave if you're shaving with something like a shave gel, as well as every couple of shaves you're going to have to make sure that you dump out the hair reservoirs in here if you are shaving, on the go and not using a lubricant. Now, not only do you have to clean these out with a little brush or something, but you also have to make sure that you oil them from time to time as well. Now, because shavers are electric, it means that you also have to manage the battery and make sure that you have it charged up enough to at least get through the shave that you're currently going to be doing. And because you do have to charge up that battery, you also need a cord. And unfortunately, these don't just use a standard charging cord like a USB-C or a USB or a USB mini even. They all have their own individual little port, so you have to make sure that you don't lose that as well. Now, as much as I would like to say that these don't cause any irritation, they absolutely can if you are pressing too hard down on it, trying to get a little area that it's not wanting to get for one reason or another, or if you pass over an area too many times, you can indeed still get some irritation from these. But it is more unlikely than a standard razor. And the last negative to this shaver is that you are going to have to shave more often, because facts are they just don't get as close as a razor will. Now, if you haven't been around for a while, you may be wondering what it is that I prefer. Well, personally, I prefer something like the half-time razor that is made for shaving the head, as I can do a very clean, good shave in under a minute with this, and I just shave it with it in the shower, which makes cleanup really super simple. But I do have to say that in between days, when I decide that I need to look a little bit closer shaven, I do like having the option to go to a shaver because it'll get close enough where normal people aren't going to be able to tell that you didn't shave your head with a razor. So I definitely use both of them. Now, as a quick recap, razors are going to be able to get much closer as well as less maintenance, where a shaver is much more user friendly as well as more versatile as far as where you can shave at. And if you want to know more about the head shaving razors or the 3 shavers that I have reviewed so far at the time of this recording, make sure to go down and check out the playlists linked below. And if you're wondering if maybe a buzz cut would be better than a shaver for you, go ahead and check out this video up here, and then there's a video down below that you may enjoy as well. Until next time, as always, you have a good one.